Good evening, D&D here. Today we're going to pick the Supra Titan. This is the key. There we go. That is picked. This is trapped in there until I relock it. So what I'm going to do is we are going to we're going to do our best to gut this. So it's you can definitely see that's picked. And you can turn the rear cam. It's just getting stuck on this thing. But yeah, that's definitely picked. So I'm going to lock it back up, which you can do. Get the tool out. So we can get the tool out. There we go. So it's just a curved wire. Basically, you'll notice it matches the key, end of the key. That's not an accident. Lock still works. All right. Let's get this thing gutted. I'll show you how it works. So we need to Switch this thing over. This is just some mounting hardware from the safe that it goes on. See, I didn't want to have to take all that apart in the video. Now we've taken that out. There's the core. You can see the sidebar groove in there. Just being a little bit careful about showing the front of this, just because it's very reflective. So you'll probably see my face if I turn it around too much, but you can see it's there. It's UL rated, and you can see the all-important sidebar groove. Put that down over there. All right. There's the sidebar. You can see that. So what I'll do, I'm not going to pull all the discs off the stem, off the spine, because that's slightly destructive, but you'll see everything. There's the sidebar. And here is a plastic curtain. Off it comes. What this does is it actually it gathers all the discs and sets them back again. So when you pull the key out, that's its job. It also helps retain the key when it's open, and it makes picking a bit more difficult too, because it means you probably saw me set the front disc with this tool. This was made by Mo, of course. It's actually a stealth key pick, but it's an everything pick. This has been great for a few locks, and it's I'm using it here to set the front disc again, because when you get past, I'll just show you this, go off on a tangent here a bit. So when you have to go past these zero lift discs here in the back, that's a max lift. When you have to try and sneak past there with the wire, what happens is you have to actually push up on the curtain a little bit on the other side, and it actually pushes back the max lift discs a little bit. So there's a max lift disc here and here. So it's the first and the last disc. And so what you have to do is you get the tool in, you set your max lift, leave it at the back, and then you have to set this one again a little bit. And you have to hope that the curtain hasn't pushed this one back a little bit as well, because there's less you can do about that. The front one, obviously, I can get in there with this and just set it again, but that's not as easy, obviously, if it was a deeper cut. So, yeah. That's that explained, hopefully. Now I'll show you the discs. So there are spacers, of course, and there are 8 discs. So I'll move the discs out of their spacer bays so that you can actually see them a bit better. But hopefully you can see that there's some true and false gates there. Yeah, it's okay, I guess. So there's the front of a lock true gate there, and that's a false gate there. Same sort of deal here. So you got a few false gates. You do feel them when you're picking it. They don't make it a lot harder, but you do feel them. It's quite sort of bumpy, their feedback. this disc as well. They all pretty much all have true and false gates. And yeah, there are 8 discs in total. And the discs have an interesting shape. So if I push all these back into the bay and just show you one, you'll see the interesting shape they have. So that's the entire circumference of a disc. So it's only like 100, 120 degrees kind of the actual circle is a disc. So this disc is actually labeled 1. You can see there, and we'll get into that in a minute. But basically, one side of this is what gets pushed on, and the other side is never accessible, and the curtain will push that back. So you'll never see... You can't act on the disc in 2 directions unless you grab it or something. You actually, with the front discs, you actually can sort of like scrape it backwards a bit with a pick, but yeah, you can't actually act on both sides of a disc. So that's a bit of a challenge. If you're unsuccessful, if you overset things, normally you have to reset. So that's one challenge with these. And yeah, as you can see, they rotate on a spine. There is actually a small spring in there, which is keeping tension on this pack. I'm not taking this apart. I have before, but to do that, you have to pull this thing off, and it's a bit sketchy, and it gets looser every time I do it, so I'm not doing that. I can share photos of the whole thing taken apart if anyone is interested, but this is sufficient to show that I haven't done anything. Haven't done anything with the lock. Haven't modified it or anything for picking it. Anyway, these cuts here, I believe there is only 1 and 0. I'll just show you that. See, there's a 0 there as well. So there are actually only 2 discs. There are 4 possible cuts. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so there's max lift, min lift, and then there's the 2 in between. So there's the next one up and that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 different cuts possible in this lock, but there are only 2 discs, and you can flip the discs basically. So only a 1 and a 0 disc are required to cover all 4 cuts, and you just you flip one to make the other cuts. When I got this lock, it actually didn't have a key. I bought this key separately, and I was able to rekey it just by flipping the discs around. I don't know whether that's universally possible or whether I just got really lucky, but I'm guessing maybe some luck was involved. Always seems to be. So anyway, there we go. That's the Supra Titan, which is a lock used on like fire brigade safe boxes for buildings and stuff. Just seeing if I can show you the key acting on the discs. So when you put the key in, it's got this ward along there, which actually meshes with this little nub there. So the key goes in like that. You turn it, and what happens is, boop, like that. So you can see how it's set the discs. Those discs are now all in their set positions. So yeah, and then obviously that has more or less aligned the discs. And so you can fit the sidebar in there. There you go. Sidebar's in, and you're off to the races. But this is a really cool lock. I want to thank Logan that is on Discord, I think is his name, for basically letting me know these even exist some time ago, and I was looking for one for a while. I'm lucky enough to have one, and they're pretty cool. So anyway, there we go. As far as I know, this is a public first of even showing what's inside these, but definitely of picking it from anything I've found. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But it would appear that this is a public first as well, so that's always nice. But yes, this has been the Supra Titan lock, not to be confused with the Supra Title, which is a wafer lock. But yeah, there we go. I think that's everything. There's the key again. One other interesting thing about these is these keys are only leased, so technically they're never owned by anyone other than Supra. Obviously, sometimes keys get lost, and I got this one on eBay. I think this is pretty old, so yeah. But generally speaking, these are only held by, say, emergency services departments and that sort of thing. And it's an American-only system, as far as I know. I have seen Supra boxes in Australia, but they're not Titan ones. So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Cheers.